Namaskar dosto. Welcome to your favorite military history and current affairs channel. Today is 1st March and we are here with the latest current affairs update till 28th February. Dosto, this channel is your one-stop solution for exam-oriented current affairs. We don't just give you random news, we break it down into exam-focused questions and answers. Our expert team has analyzed previous question papers and tracked recurring trends in exams to ensure you get the most relevant and high-yield content. In exams, you will not get direct questions. Questions will be framed differently, twisted, and asked in a way that will test your logical thinking. That's why rote learning won't work anymore. You need conceptual clarity. And that's exactly what we do here. We simplify complex topics, provide mnemonics, charts, and graphs to make learning easy and help you retain information effortlessly. So, before we begin, make sure you're ready with a pen and notebook. Pause the video wherever needed, write down the questions, and draw the charts. Because trust me, this kind of material is not available in any magazine or coaching institute. We bring you the best, yet the simplest way to master current affairs. Ab dosto, before we move to the first question, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us keep bringing high-quality content for free. Alright, let's get started with today's first question. It states, the Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana, also known as PM-DKY, aims to enhance agricultural productivity, sustainability, and post-harvest infrastructure in India. Analyze the key features and objectives of the scheme. How can the Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana address the challenges faced by small and marginal farmers? And what measures can improve its effectiveness in ensuring long-term agricultural growth? Dosto, read the question carefully. In this question, we can see that it is divided into 4 parts. First is about key features. We need to highlight the main aspects of PM-DKY, Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana. Second is about objectives. What is the purpose behind launching the scheme? Third part is how Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana addresses challenges faced by small and marginal farmers. This requires an analytical approach where we connect the scheme's benefits to real issues faced by farmers. And last part is about measures to improve its effectiveness for long-term agricultural growth. Dosto, in exams, questions are not asked directly. They're framed in a way that tests your logical thinking. That's why understanding and structuring your answer correctly is crucial. So, we will answer exactly as per the question structure. Pay close attention, pause the video, draw the chart, and then continue as we discuss. Trust me, this method will help you retain and recall the information much better. Let's begin with the first part, key features of Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana. To answer this, we will use this simple mnemonic TDCFP. Dosto, remember in exams, they won't ask direct questions, they'll twist them. So, focus on understanding the concept rather than mugging up facts. Let's break it down simply. First is T-targeted approach for 100 districts. The government has picked 100 districts where farming is struggling, low productivity, no access to proper loans, and poor resources. Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana aims to fix that. Next is D. Data-driven implementation. No guesswork here. NABARD and financial services data is being used to identify real issues and give farmers the exact help they need. C. Convergence model for fund allocation. Instead of spreading money thin across multiple schemes, Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana combines them all for better efficiency and maximum impact. F. Focus on small and marginal farmers. This scheme is not for big corporate farms. It's focused on 1.7 crore small and marginal farmers who struggle the most. P. Post-harvest and credit support. Harvesting is only half the battle. The real challenge is storage and loans. Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana provides better storage infrastructure and easier credit access at the panchayat block level. Dosto, pause the video here, write this down, and make a quick chart. This will stick in your memory and help in exams. Now, let's move to the next part, objectives of Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana. Remember the mnemonic GROWS. So, let's simplify it with this mnemonic. G. Grow agricultural productivity. The main goal is to increase crop yield and ensure better land utilization. Farmers should be able to grow more using fewer resources. R. Revive sustainable farming. No more overusing chemical fertilizers and monocropping. Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana promotes crop diversification and eco-friendly farming practices for long-term benefits. O. Optimize post-harvest infrastructure. Harvesting crops is just half the job. The real challenge is storage and transportation. This scheme focuses on better storage and a strong supply chain to reduce wastage. W. Water access for irrigation. No water, no farming. Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana works on better irrigation access for small and marginal farmers, so they don't depend only on unpredictable rainfall. S. Support agricultural credit access. Farmers need money at the right time. PMDKY makes short-term and long-term farm loans easier so farmers can invest in seeds, equipment, and post-harvest needs. Dosto, pause the video here, write this down, and make a quick chart. This way, it'll stay in your mind and help you recall in exams. Now, let's move to the next part. How Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana addresses challenges faced by small and marginal farmers. Dosto, small and marginal farmers face multiple challenges, and Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana is designed to tackle them one by one. Let's break it down in simple terms. 1. Credit accessibility. Farmers struggle to get loans due to lack of collateral. Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana ensures easy institutional credit for farm investments and risk management. This helps them buy better seeds, fertilizers, and equipment without falling into debt traps. 2. Irrigation support. Rainfall is unreliable, and small farmers can't afford expensive irrigation systems. Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana helps by expanding affordable and efficient irrigation, reducing dependency on monsoons. 3. Post-harvest infrastructure. Harvesting the crop is just half the job. The real challenge is storing and selling it at the right time. Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana builds local storage and processing units to reduce post-harvest losses. 4. Crop diversification and sustainability. Small farmers can't risk experimenting with new crops due to financial insecurity. This scheme promotes eco-friendly practices and encourages crop diversification to improve soil health and yields. 5. Market linkages and financial inclusion. Middlemen often exploit farmers by buying crops at dirt cheap rates. Prime Minister Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana strengthens direct farmer market connections, ensuring better price realization for their produce. Now, let's move to the final part. What measures can improve PMDKY's effectiveness for long-term agricultural growth? Measures to improve PM-DKY. Remember the mnemonic STEPA. Dosto, a scheme is only as good as its execution. PM-DKY is a great initiative, but to make it truly effective in the long run, we need some serious improvements. Let's break it down in simple, easy-to-remember points. S. Strengthening implementation and monitoring. The biggest problem with government schemes? Slow implementation and lack of tracking. We need real-time monitoring, proper fund disbursement, and strict performance checks to ensure the benefits actually reach farmers. T. Technology-driven solutions. It's time to bring farming into the digital age. Using AI, IoT, and remote sensing can help in precision farming, soil health tracking, and better yield predictions. E. Expanding coverage beyond 100 districts. Why should only 100 districts benefit? PM-DKY should be scaled up to more regions where farmers face similar challenges so that more people get access to its benefits. P. Public-private partnerships, PPP. The private sector can play a massive role in making farming more efficient. Encouraging PPP in storage, processing, and agri-tech can boost investment and provide better facilities to farmers. A. Awareness and farmer training. Farmers won't use the scheme if they don't understand it. Mass awareness campaigns, training programs, and digital literacy initiatives should be conducted so that farmers can fully utilize PMDKY's benefits. Dosto, pause the video here, note this down, and make a quick chart. Trust me, this structured approach will help you in exams. Now, let's move to our next question, which states, Aero India has evolved into a significant platform for showcasing India's defense capabilities and fostering global aerospace collaborations. Analyze the role of Aero India 2025 in strengthening India's defense industry, promoting indigenous manufacturing, and enhancing global defense cooperation. What challenges does India face in achieving self-reliance in defense, and how can Aero India contribute to overcoming them? Dosto, this question is divided into 3 parts. 1. Keycap Aero India's role in strengthening defense. 2. Keycap challenges in achieving self-reliance. 3. Keycap how Aero India 2025 can overcome these challenges. In exams, you must answer what is asked, not just what you know. Many students make the mistake of writing unnecessary details. Don't do that. Stick to the structure and answer each part separately. Let us answer the first part. Aero India's role in strengthening defense. Remember the mnemonic shape. Dosto, Aero India is not just an air show. It's a strategic platform that helps shape India's defense future. To understand it better, we have prepared a simple mnemonic shape. This will make it easy to remember. S. Showcasing advanced technologies. Aero India is a global stage where India displays cutting-edge defense tech like fighter jets, UAVs, AI-driven defense systems, and next-gen radars. This helps in boosting confidence in India's defense capabilities. H. Homegrown defense manufacturing. The event promotes Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense. Focus on indigenous fighter jets, Tejas, helicopters, LCH, and missile systems, BrahMos. A. Attracting foreign investment. Aero India brings top global defense investors and promotes FDI, foreign direct investment, in aerospace and military R&D. This helps in building a strong defense economy. P. Partnerships with global defense firms. India signs joint ventures, technology transfers, and defense agreements with top global players like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and Dassault. These collaborations help develop better aircraft, weapons, and advanced tech. E. Enabling major procurements. Aero India is where big defense deals are finalized. It plays a major role in MMRCA, multi-role combat aircraft, deals, and modernizing India's defense forces. Dosto, pause the video here, make a simple chart, and note this down. This way, you will have crisp notes for revision. Now, let's move to the second part, challenges in achieving self-reliance in defense. Dosto, self-reliance in defense sounds great, but achieving it is not easy. There are major challenges that slow down progress. To understand this better, we have prepared a simple mnemonic, SPICE, so that you can remember it quickly for exams. S. Slow development of indigenous projects. Many crucial defense projects like Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, Project 75I, submarines, and indigenous aircraft carriers face delays due to funding issues, lack of R&D, and slow decision-making. The longer these projects take, the more we depend on foreign defense tech. P. Private sector participation is limited. In most developed nations, private companies play a huge role in defense manufacturing. But in India, the defense sector is still dominated by public sector units like Hindustan Aeronautic Limited and Defense Research and Development Organization. Lack of incentives and policy restrictions prevent big private players from contributing effectively. I. Import dependence on foreign technology. Even though we build our own fighter jets, key components like engines, radars, avionics, and advanced weapons are still imported from the US, Russia, and France. This increases costs, creates dependency, and delays indigenous defense projects. C. Cost and infrastructure constraints. Defense R&D is very expensive. India's budget constraints limit large-scale manufacturing and slow down projects. Lack of proper defense infrastructure, testing facilities, and high production costs further reduce efficiency. E. Excessive bureaucracy in procurement. Defense procurement in India is extremely slow. Complicated policies, long approval processes, and political interference delay decision-making. Even when funds are allocated, it takes years before actual contracts are signed. Dosto, pause the video here, note this down, and make a quick chart. This will help you remember the key challenges for exams. Now, let's move to the final part. How Aero India 2025 can overcome these challenges. Dosto, we have seen the challenges India faces in achieving self-reliance in defense. But Aero India 2025 can play a crucial role in solving these problems. Let's break it down in a simple and structured way. 1. Encouraging technology transfer and joint ventures. Aero India provides a platform for Indian firms to collaborate with global defense giants like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Dassault, and Rafale. Joint ventures and technology transfers will help India develop advanced engines, radars, and avionics domestically. 2. Showcasing indigenous defense capabilities. India needs to prove that we are capable of manufacturing world-class defense products. Aero India highlights India's self-sufficiency in fighter jets, Tejas, helicopters, LCH, drones, and missiles, BrahMos. This attracts buyers and foreign investors to trust Indian defense production. 3. Boosting private sector and startups in defense. The event encourages Indian startups and private firms to step into defense manufacturing. Policy discussions and investment opportunities can help remove barriers for private players and expand India's defense ecosystem. 4. Strengthening defense exports. Aero India is not just about buying, it's also about selling. India can showcase its indigenous military hardware to potential buyers from Asia, Africa, and Latin America. This will help India become a global defense exporter instead of just an importer. 5. Streamlining defense procurement and policy engagement. Slow decision-making and red tape have always been a problem. Aero India acts as a forum where policymakers, military officials, and industry leaders discuss reforms to speed up procurement and manufacturing. This can lead to policy changes that promote faster defense production and self-reliance. Dosto, pause the video here, note this down, and make a simple chart. This will help you structure your answer easily for exams. With this, we complete the question. Now, let's move to the next topic. Let's move to the next question. It states, the PM-AASHA scheme aims to ensure remunerative prices for farmers and stabilize agricultural markets in India. Analyze the key components of the scheme and discuss its significance in addressing farmers' income security. What challenges does the scheme face in effective implementation? And how can they be mitigated? Dosto, as always, read the question carefully. These questions are expert-designed and follow the same pattern as real exam questions. So, focus on what is being asked and answer accordingly. Let us first start with introduction. Dosto, PM-AASHA, Pradhan Mantri Annadta Ai Sanrakshan Abhiyan, is a government initiative designed to ensure that farmers get fair and remunerative prices for their crops. The Government of India has approved its continuation till 2025 to 26 under the 15th Finance Commission cycle. What is PM-AASHA? It is an umbrella scheme aimed at ensuring price security for farmers through effective procurement operations and price support mechanisms. Ministry in charge. Administered by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. Implementing agency. Implemented through central nodal agencies like NAFT, National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India, and NCCF, National Cooperative Consumers Federation of India, in collaboration with state governments. Dosto, this is a crucial scheme for ensuring farmers' income security. So pause the video and make a quick note of these points. Now, let's move to the first part of the question, key components of PM-AASHA. Dosto, PM-AASHA has 4 major components to ensure farmers get fair prices for their crops. To make it easier, remember the mnemonic PSPM. Let's break it down in a simple way. P. Price Support Scheme, PSS. Under this scheme, the government directly procures pulses, oilseeds, and copra at MSP, minimum support price. NAFTA and other agencies purchase these crops from farmers to prevent distress selling. S. Price Stabilization Fund, PSF. This fund is used to create buffer stocks of essential commodities like pulses and onions. Helps control price fluctuations and prevents hoarding by middlemen. P. Price Deficit Payment Scheme, PDPS. Farmers get direct compensation if the market price falls below MSP. Instead of physical procurement, farmers receive payments for the price difference, reducing reliance on government storage. M. Market Intervention Scheme, MIS. Designed to ensure fair pricing for perishable horticulture crops like fruits and vegetables. Helps farmers avoid heavy losses during bumper harvests when prices crash. Dosto, pause the video here, make a simple chart and note this down. This structured approach will help in exams. Now, let's move to the second part, significance of PM-AASHA in farmers' income security. Dosto, PM-AASHA plays a crucial role in ensuring farmers' income security by stabilizing prices and reducing risks. To remember its key benefits, use the mnemonic FARMS. Let's simplify it. F. Fair prices at MSP. Farmers are protected from price fluctuations as the government procures crops at MSP. Ensures they don't have to sell at throwaway prices during market crashes. A. Avoids import dependency. By boosting domestic production, PM-AASHA helps reduce reliance on imports. Encourages farmers to grow more pulses, oilseeds, and key crops required for food security. R. Regulates market prices. Prevents price volatility by maintaining buffer stocks and stabilizing supply. Avoids situations where farmers face distress selling due to oversupply. M. Middleman-free selling. Encourages direct selling at government procurement centers, eliminating middlemen. Ensures farmers get a fair share without exploitation by traders. S. Supports small and marginal farmers. Price Deficit Payments, PDPS. Help small farmers recover losses when market prices fall below MSP. Provides financial security and stability, especially to those with limited land and resources. Dosto, even though PM-AASHA is a great scheme, its implementation faces several challenges. These issues reduce its effectiveness and prevent many farmers from fully benefiting. To make it easy to remember, use the mnemonic PLED. Let's break it down. P. Partial procurement coverage. Only about 25% of total crop production is procured under the scheme. All seeds get priority, while other crops like pulses and perishable items receive less support. L. Lag in payments. Farmers face delays in receiving MSP payments and Price Deficit Payment Scheme, PDPS, compensation. Payment processing inefficiencies leave farmers waiting for months, impacting their finances. I. Infrastructure and storage gaps. Lack of proper storage facilities and cold chains leads to post-harvest losses. Many procurement centers struggle with handling large volumes of crops. D. Data and awareness deficiency. Many small and marginal farmers are unaware of the scheme and don't register in time. Lack of digital literacy and poor outreach limits the scheme's reach. I. Inefficiency at state level. Some states have weak procurement systems, leading to inequitable distribution of benefits. Farmers in certain regions receive more support than others, making the scheme less effective at a national level. Now, let's move to the final part. How these challenges can be mitigated. Dosto, to make PM-AASHA more effective, these challenges need strong solutions. The government must take proactive steps to ensure better procurement, faster payments, and improved infrastructure. To remember these solutions easily, use the mnemonic FASTI. Let's break it down. F. Farmers' inclusion and procurement expansion. Extend Price Support Scheme, PSS, and Price Deficit Payment Scheme, PDPS, to cover more crops beyond all seeds and pulses. Ensure small and marginal farmers get equal benefits, not just large producers. A. Accelerate payments. Use direct benefit transfer, DBT, and digital payments to speed up MSP and PDPS compensation. Reduce bureaucratic delays so farmers don't have to wait months for their payments. S. Storage and infrastructure development. Invest in cold chains, modern warehouse, and processing centers to reduce post-harvest losses. Encourage private sector participation in agricultural storage and logistics. T. Training and awareness for farmers. Use Krishi Vigyan Kendras, KVKs, digital platforms, and local awareness campaigns to educate farmers about scheme benefits and registration processes. Ensure even remote farmers know how to access PM-AASHA support. I. Improved center-state coordination. Strengthen state procurement agencies to ensure efficient and equitable implementation. Use real-time data monitoring to track procurement, prevent corruption, and streamline the process. With this, we complete the question. Now, let's move to the next question, which states, India and Qatar have recently elevated their bilateral relations to a strategic partnership. Analyze the key areas of cooperation between the two nations and discuss the challenges that may hinder deeper engagement. Suggest measures to enhance India-Qatar relations in the context of energy security, trade balance, and regional stability. Moving straight as what has been asked, but before that let us start with introduction. Dosto, India and Qatar took a major step forward by elevating their bilateral relations to a strategic partnership in February 2025. This move is aimed at strengthening ties in key areas like trade, energy, investment, and technology cooperation. Key highlights includes trade and economic growth. Both nations aim to double bilateral trade to $30 billion by 2030. Energy security. Qatar is a key supplier of LNG, liquefied natural gas, to India, ensuring stable energy cooperation. Investment and tech collaboration. Expanding mutual investments and joint ventures in emerging tech, fintech, and AI. Dosto, this is a major development in India's foreign relations, so note it down carefully. Dosto, the India-Qatar Summit 2025 has led to major agreements that will strengthen economic, energy, and strategic cooperation between the two nations. Let's break down the key outcomes. 1. Strategic Partnership Agreement. Strengthens ties in trade, investment, security, and innovation. Marks a new phase of high-level cooperation between both countries. 2. Trade Expansion. Commitment to double trade from $14 billion to $30 billion by 2030. Focus on diversified trade, including manufacturing, tech, and services. 3. Energy Cooperation. Qatar Energy and Petronet LNG signed a 20-year LNG supply deal, starting in 2028. Ensures long-term energy security for India. 4. Investment Boost. Qatar Investment Authority, QIA, pledged $10 billion in Indian infrastructure, startups, and green energy projects. Supports India's renewable energy and startup ecosystem. 5. Digital and Financial Integration. UPI, Unified Payments Interface, rollout in Qatar for seamless cross-border payments. Revised Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, DTAA, signed to enhance trade and investment. Now, let's move to the first part of the question. Areas of India-Qatar cooperation. India and Qatar's strategic partnership is built on multiple areas of cooperation. To remember them easily, use the mnemonic TCHTS. Let's break it down. T. Trade and investment. Focus on LNG, LPG, smart cities, ports, and shipbuilding. Goal: double bilateral trade to $30 billion by 2030. E. Energy security. Long-term LNG supply deal to ensure stable energy access. Expansion into green hydrogen and solar power collaboration. C. Technology and innovation. Cooperation in AI, semiconductors, IoT, and robotics. Support for Indian startups expanding into Doha. H. Human and financial connectivity. UPI rollout in Qatar for seamless digital payments. Qatar Investment Authority, QIA, setting up an office in India to boost financial ties. D. Diaspora and cultural exchange. 830K Indians in Qatar, strengthening cultural, educational, and sports ties. Initiatives for youth engagement and knowledge sharing. S. Security and counterterrorism. Cooperation in cybersecurity, anti-money laundering, and counterterrorism efforts. Strengthening intelligence sharing mechanisms for regional stability. Now, let's move to the second part of the question. Dosto, despite strong ties, several challenges hinder deeper engagement between India and Qatar. Let's analyze them one by one. 1. Trade imbalance. India imports LNG and LPG worth $12 billion from Qatar. However, India's exports to Qatar are under $2 billion. Need to diversify trade beyond energy imports to reduce dependency. 2. Labor welfare issues. Concerns over working conditions of Indian laborers in Qatar, especially in construction and blue-collar jobs. Need for stronger labor agreements and better protections for Indian workers. 3. Geopolitical sensitivities. Qatar's role in West Asian conflicts, Israel-Hamas negotiations, Gulf diplomacy, affects regional stability. India must carefully balance its diplomatic engagement to maintain neutrality and strategic interests. 4. Judicial and legal hurdles. 600 Indians in Qatari jails, with no finalized agreement on transfer of sentenced persons. Naval veterans case. One Indian Navy officer remains detained, impacting diplomatic relations. Now, let's move to the last part of the question. How these challenges can be addressed. Dosto, to overcome the challenges and deepen India-Qatar ties, both nations must focus on key strategic measures. To make it easy, remember the mnemonic, BEADS. Let's break it down. B. Boost energy security. Expand energy cooperation beyond LNG and LPG to include renewables like green hydrogen and solar power. Promote joint ventures in sustainable energy projects. E. Enhance trade and investment. Reduce trade imbalance by increasing Indian exports to Qatar in manufacturing, technology, and services. Finalize the bilateral investment treaty to encourage more Qatari investments in India. A. Advance labor protections. Strengthen agreements on Indian workers' rights, safety, and better living conditions. Establish grievance redressal mechanisms to ensure fair treatment of laborers. D. Deepen diplomatic and security ties. Expand cybersecurity, counterterrorism, and defense cooperation for regional security. Enhance intelligence sharing to tackle global security threats. S. Strengthen regional stability. Collaborate in G20 SCO and BRICS to boost multilateral engagement. Expand India's role in West Asian diplomacy for peace and economic cooperation. With this, we complete the question. Dosto, if you're finding this content helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring high-quality, exam-focused content for you. Also, your suggestions are always welcome. Let us know how we can improve and make learning even better. With this, let's move to the next question, which states, the ongoing political crisis in Myanmar has had significant spillover effects on Northeast India, particularly in terms of security, refugee influx, and economic stability. Analyze the key challenges posed by the Myanmar crisis for India's Northeast and discuss measures to mitigate security threats while ensuring regional economic development. Dosto, the ongoing political instability in Myanmar has created serious challenges for Northeast India. This crisis is not just about Myanmar. It has direct security, economic, and diplomatic consequences for India. Let's break it down. 1. Political instability and refugee influx. The military coup in Myanmar 2021 and ongoing conflicts have led to a rise in refugees crossing into Northeast India. This is straining India's border security, resources, and administrative capacity. 2. Rising insurgency and economic impact. The Myanmar crisis is aggravating insurgency issues in India's northeast by allowing militant groups to operate along the porous border. Trade and connectivity projects with Southeast Asia are being disrupted, affecting India's Act East policy. Dosto, this crisis is a major geopolitical issue, so note these points carefully. Now, let's move to the first part of the question, challenges posed by the Myanmar crisis. Dosto, the Myanmar crisis directly impacts India's security, ethnic stability, and economy. To simplify this complex issue, remember the mnemonic SE. Each letter represents a major challenge India faces. Let's break it down. S. Security threats. Renewed insurgency in northeast India, Manipur violence has escalated, and insurgent groups are using Myanmar as a safe haven. Cross-border armed groups, ethnic armed organizations, EAOs, in Myanmar are gaining strength, threatening border security. Porous 1,643 kilometers border, illegal migration, arms smuggling, and drug trafficking have increased. Abolition of Free Movement Regime (FMR) restricts cross-border movement, impacting local communities. Ethnic tensions and refugee influx. 95,600 Myanmar refugees in India, with 73,400 arriving post-coup. India lacks a formal refugee policy to manage this crisis. Ethnic sensitivities. Mizoram supports refugees. Mizochin Kuki ties, while Manipur resists Meitei Kuki tensions. Demographic changes risk communal violence if not managed properly. Economic disruptions. Decline in border trade. Manipur's Mora border trade hub is severely affected, slowing India's Act East policy. Delay in India-Myanmar-Thailand trilateral highway. Key regional connectivity projects are stalled due to instability. Investment uncertainty. Political instability in Myanmar and Bangladesh discourages investors from investing in Northeast India. Dosto, pause the video, note this down, and make a simple chart. Now, let's move to the next part. India's response to Myanmar crisis. Remember the mnemonic SAFE. Dosto, India's response to the Myanmar crisis has been shaped by multiple factors, balancing security, humanitarian concerns, and economic interests. To make it easy to remember, use the mnemonic SAFE. Each letter highlights a key aspect of India's approach. Let's break it down. S. State reactions. Different states have different responses to Myanmar refugees. Mizoram supports refugees due to Mizochin Kuki ethnic ties, providing humanitarian aid. Manipur resists refugee influx, fearing demographic changes and tensions with the Meitei Kuki conflict. Abolish Free Movement Regime (FMR). India suspended the Free Movement Regime (FMR) along the India-Myanmar border for security reasons, aimed at curbing illegal migration, insurgency movement, and cross-border crime, arms and drug smuggling. Financial impact. The Myanmar crisis has disrupted border trade, slowed regional connectivity projects, and impacted India's Act East policy. Businesses in Northeast India, especially Manipur's Mora trade hub, are facing major losses. Economic development and border stability. India is investing in Northeast India to stabilize the region and reduce Myanmar dependency. Strengthening border infrastructure, trade hubs, and connectivity projects to boost local economies. Now, let's move to the final part. Measures to mitigate security threats and boost economic development. Dosto, India needs a strong and strategic approach to tackle security threats while ensuring economic stability in the Northeast. To remember the key measures, use the mnemonic border. Let's break it down. B. Boost border security and intelligence. Strengthen surveillance mechanisms along the India-Myanmar border. Deploy drones, AI-powered monitoring, and advanced intelligence networks to prevent illegal arms, drugs, and human trafficking. O. Ongoing diplomatic engagement. Work with Myanmar, ASEAN, and regional partners to ensure peace and stability. Support the establishment of a federal democratic framework in Myanmar to reduce long-term instability. R. Refugee management and humanitarian support. Create temporary frameworks for humanitarian aid while ensuring proper documentation of refugees. Improve local healthcare and education in Mizoram and Manipur to support displaced populations without burdening local resources. D. Disrupt insurgent networks. Prevent Indian insurgent groups from using Myanmar as a safe haven. Strengthen bilateral security cooperation with Myanmar's military to counter cross-border terrorism. E. Economic revival and trade expansion. Fast-track regional infrastructure projects like the India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway for better connectivity. Reopen important trade routes, Mora-TAMU corridor, and develop new economic corridors. R. Regional development and self-sufficiency. Invest in Northeast India's industrial and agricultural sectors to boost self-reliance. Establish border economic zones to prepare for future trade agreements and economic integration. Dosto, pause the video, write this down, and make a simple chart. This structured approach will help you answer exam questions clearly. With this, we complete the question. Now, let's move to the next question, which states, the commissioning of its Tamal marks a crucial transition for the Indian Navy from importing warships to achieving self-reliance in defense manufacturing. Analyze the strategic significance of its Tamal for India's naval capabilities. How does this development align with India's broader vision of defense indigenization under Atmanirbhar Bharat? Discuss the challenges India faces in achieving complete self-reliance in warship production. Let's first start by giving introduction of INS Tamal. Dosto, mark your calendars for June 2025 because INS Tamal is about to join the Indian Navy. And here's the big deal, this is the last imported warship for the Indian Navy. After this, India is fully moving towards indigenous warship production. What is INS Tamal? Type, a stealth-guided missile frigate designed to be fast, deadly, and hard to detect. Built by Russia's Yantra shipyard. But this is the final warship India is importing. Project, part of Project 11356, a $2.5 billion deal signed with Russia in 2016. Commissioning, expected to officially join the Indian Navy in June 2025. Dosto, this is a major step in India's naval modernization. After this, our focus shifts completely to making warships in India under Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, let's move to the first part of the question, strategic significance of INS Tamal. INS Tamal's strategic significance, remember the mnemonic HEST. INS Tamal is not just another warship, it represents a major milestone in India's naval strategy. To understand its importance, remember the mnemonic HEST. Each letter highlights a key aspect of its significance. Let's break it down. H, homegrown defense, marks the end of India importing warships. From here on, it's all about Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat. This step will boost indigenous warship production and reduce dependency on foreign nations. E, enhanced maritime security. Equipped with stealth technology and advanced missile systems, INS Tamal will strengthen India's naval defense capabilities. Helps India counter threats in the Indian Ocean region, IOR, and Indo-Pacific. S, strengthened India-Russia ties. Despite being India's last imported warship, it reinforces strong defense collaboration with Russia. Technology transfers and joint defense projects will continue in other domains. T. Technological and fleet modernization. INS Tamal supports India's fleet expansion and force readiness. Complements warships like INS Tushil and other upcoming stealth frigates under indigenous projects. Next, let's discuss how INS Tamal aligns with Atmanirbhar Bharat. INS Tamal's alignment with Atmanirbhar Bharat, remember the mnemonic S.M.A.R.T. INS Tamal is not just another warship, it's a symbol of India's shift towards complete naval self-reliance. It directly aligns with Atmanirbhar Bharat, pushing India towards indigenous warship manufacturing. To make it easy, remember the mnemonic S.M.A.R.T. Each letter highlights how INS Tamal supports India's self-reliance goals. Let's break it down. S. Self-reliance in warship manufacturing. With INS Tamal as the last imported warship, India now focuses on building warships locally to reduce dependency on foreign defense suppliers, strengthens India's shipbuilding capabilities and naval infrastructure. M. Make in India and Defense Production Policy. Aligns with Defense Acquisition Policy 2020 and Strategic Partnership Model SPM. Encourages indigenous defense production and promotes Indian defense manufacturers. A. Advancement in technology and innovation. Boosts indigenous naval research and stealth technology development. Encourages investment in high-tech defense systems and smart warship technologies. R. Rise of domestic defense industry. Strengthens both public and private sector involvement in warship manufacturing. Encourages Indian defense companies like Mazago Dock Shipbuilders, L&T, and GRSE to take the lead in future naval projects. T. Technology-driven growth. Encourages the development of next-generation warships, missile systems, and AI-driven naval defense tech. Helps India become a global defense exporter. Next, let's discuss the challenges in warship self-reliance. Challenges in warship self-reliance, remember the mnemonic build. Dosto, achieving complete self-reliance in warship manufacturing is not easy. While India has made great progress, several key challenges remain. To make it easier, remember the mnemonic build. Each letter represents a major hurdle. Let's break it down. B. Budget and infrastructure constraints. Warship manufacturing is expensive. High production costs and long timelines make it challenging. Shortage of skilled workforce and advanced shipbuilding yards slows down progress. U. Unfinished indigenous projects. Delays in major projects like Project 17A, stealth frigates, and Project 75, submarines, increase costs. Over-reliance on foreign suppliers for key components slows down domestic warship production. I. Import dependence on foreign technology. India still imports gas turbines, radars, missile systems, and electronic warfare equipment from the US, Russia, and Israel. Lack of indigenous high-tech naval components limits self-reliance. L. Limited defense manufacturing ecosystem. Private sector involvement is still slow, with weak R&D investment in next-gen naval technologies. State-run shipyards, Mazago Dock, GRSE, Goa Shipyard dominate, but faster innovation is needed. D. Diplomatic and geopolitical pressures. China's rapid naval expansion poses a challenge in the Indian Ocean. Global supply chain disruptions due to conflicts, trade wars, slow down access to key materials. Dosto, pause the video, write this down, and make a quick chart. Understanding these challenges will help you write well-structured answers in exams. With this, we complete the question. Now, let's move to the last question of this month. The question states, the India-UK Free Trade Agreement FTA aims to enhance trade, investment, and economic cooperation between the two nations. Analyze the potential benefits of this agreement for India and the challenges that hinder its finalization. In what ways can India navigate these challenges to ensure a balanced, and mutually beneficial trade deal? Let us answer it sequentially as been asked in the question. The question is divided into three parts. First is potential benefits of this agreement for India. Second, the challenges that hinder its finalization. And third, in what ways can India navigate these challenges to ensure a balanced and mutually beneficial trade deal? So let us answer it as been asked. Dosto, the first part, potential benefits of the India-UK FTA, remember the mnemonic TIBTS. The India-UK Free Trade Agreement FTA is one of the most anticipated trade deals. If finalized, it could open up new markets, boost exports, and strengthen economic ties between both nations. To remember the key benefits, use the mnemonic TIBTS. Let's break it down. T. Trade boost. Tariff cuts on $6.1 billion worth of Indian exports. Industries like textiles, automobiles, and agriculture will benefit from cheaper exports to the UK. India's manufacturing sector will see higher demand and more job creation. I. Improved market access in services. Easier movement for Indian IT professionals, healthcare workers, and students to the UK. Better recognition of Indian qualifications in education and medicine. The FTA could help India's booming IT and service sector expand into the UK market. B. Bilateral investments growth. The Bilateral Investment Treaty, BIT, will encourage more UK investments in Indian industries. Tech transfer and collaboration in AI, fintech, and renewable energy. More British companies setting up operations in India, boosting employment. T. Tariff reductions for the UK. The UK wants lower tariffs on whiskey, automobiles, and high-end goods. If agreed, Indian consumers could get premium UK brands at cheaper rates. In return, India gets better access for its exports. S. Strategic and economic ties strengthened. Strengthens India-UK relations beyond trade, cooperation in security, defense, and global geopolitics. Positions India as a key player in global trade negotiations. Now, let's move to the second part. Challenges hindering the finalization of the India-UK FTA. Dosto, negotiating a free trade agreement FTA is never easy. While both India and the UK want this deal, several hurdles are delaying its finalization. To remember the key challenges, use the mnemonic TVBRG. Let's break it down. T. Tariff negotiations. India is reluctant to cut duties on whiskey, automobiles, and meet major UK demands. The UK wants reductions on metals, machinery, and high-end goods, but India is protecting its domestic industries. Visa and mobility issues. India wants easier visas for IT professionals, healthcare workers, and students. The UK, facing domestic immigration concerns, is hesitant about relaxing visa policies. B. Bilateral Investment Treaty, BIT, disputes. India insists that foreign investors must exhaust legal remedies in Indian courts before international arbitration. The UK wants direct international arbitration, creating a legal deadlock. R. Regulatory and market barriers. The UK is demanding liberalization in India's financial and legal sectors, which India is cautious about. Non-tariff barriers, technical standards, compliance issues are making negotiations more complex. G. Geopolitical and economic uncertainty. The UK is facing post-Brexit economic challenges, while India is focused on securing the best deal. Global economic fluctuations and political shifts are slowing negotiations. Now, let's move to the final part. How India can navigate these challenges for a mutually beneficial trade deal. Dosto, negotiating a free trade agreement FTA is all about smart diplomacy. India needs to address challenges while ensuring a deal that benefits both countries. To remember the key strategies, use the mnemonic TVBSD. Let's break it down. T. Tariff balancing. Instead of immediate duty cuts, India can negotiate gradual reductions to protect domestic industries. Ensuring a win-win for both sides in goods and services, India's exports grow while key UK demands are met strategically. Visa and mobility resolutions. India can push for special provisions, allowing easier visas for skilled professionals and students. Mutual qualification recognition for doctors, engineers, and IT professionals can bridge gaps. BIT finalization. Establishing a balanced investment protection framework that ensures foreign investor confidence while respecting India's legal sovereignty. A fair dispute resolution mechanism that satisfies both India and the UK. Sector-specific cooperation. Expanding cooperation beyond trade into technology, green energy, pharmaceuticals, AI, cybersecurity, and digital trade. This will create long-term strategic economic benefits. Diplomatic and strategic engagement. High-level dialogues and trade negotiations to align the FTA with broader geopolitical interests. Strengthening the India-UK Comprehensive Strategic Partnership to ensure trade aligns with national security and economic goals. Dosto, pause the video, note this down, and make a simple chart. This structured strategy will help you write a perfect answer in exams. Dosto, with this, we wrap up the February month current affairs. Our commitment is simple: to provide you with the best, most exam-oriented, and crisp study material that saves your time and boosts your preparation. We've already covered military history for you all and are bringing you regular current affairs updates 2-3 times a week, depending on the topic. Our expert team has gone through all previous year's question papers, analyzed the exam pattern, and framed questions just like they are asked in real exams. We have read through newspapers, magazines, and reports and condensed everything into charts, mnemonics, and structured notes to make it super easy to remember. Dosto, you won't find this level of content anywhere else. So if you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe. Your support motivates us to keep bringing you high-quality, free content. Stay tuned for more updates, more analysis, and more power-packed exam content. Thank you and stay tuned. Jai Hind.